Hello, it is 1 p.m. in RTD. It is 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition for tonight. Headlines we have. The Aburma Rock Art Site officially nominated for UNESCO World Heritage Status. United States and African Union creations of a working group on strategic investment. Welcome to our newsroom. Djibouti receives the French Chief of Staff for official visit. Yesterday, the Republic of Djibouti received the French Chief of Staff, Air Chief Marshal Fabien Mandon, who is on an official visit to the country, accompanied by the French ambassador to Djibouti, Mr. Jérôme Bresson, and a high-level military delegation. This visit comes within the framework of the Defense Cooperation Agreement between Djibouti and France, renewed in 2024, reflecting the depth of the strategic partnership between the two countries, particularly in security, defense, and regional stability. The French military official received an official welcome at the officer Hotel Hassan Bassouma Hassan by the Minister of Defense in charge of parliamentary relations, Mr. Hassan Omar Mohamed Burhan, and the Chief of Staff of the Djiboutian Armed Forces, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim. The ceremony included military honors and the playing of the national anthems of both countries. The reception was attended by senior military leaders and officials from both Djibouti and France. Following the official speeches of the Minister of Defense, the ceremony concluded with a symbolic moment. Air Chief Marshal Fabien Mondon was awarded the Grand Star of Djibouti, presented by the Chief of Staff of the Djiboutian Armed Forces, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, in recognition of his efforts and contribution to strengthening military cooperation between Djibouti and France. The visit ended with the exchanges of official gifts and a group photo commemorating these milestones in the defense cooperation and strategic partnership between the two countries. The 35th national finals of the Paul Guérin-Lajoie dictations under the high patronage of the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohamed Mahmoud. The 35th national finals of the Paul Guérin-Lajoie dictations took place this morning at the CFN Center. This national educational event celebrates academic excellence, discipline, and masteries of the French languages while promoting essential skills among students, organized by the Ministry of National Education in partnership with the Paul Guérin-Lajoie Foundation. It gathered top students from the 5th and 6th grade who qualified after a long organized process involving nearly 25,000 students nationwide. The official ceremony was attended by prominent figures including Dean Abdallah Omar, Secretary General of the Ministry of Environment, Dr. René Yotova, Director General of the Regional Francophone Center for Africa, as well as directors, inspectors, teachers, parents, and 100 finalists, students representing the capital and the various regions. The 35th edition is held under the theme Information and Communication Technologies for Sustainable Development, highlighted the vital role of technology in education. The event emphasized that lasting educational impact relies on strong foundations in reading, writing, and comprehension, sending a clear message to all educational stakeholders in the digital era. The Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohamed Mahmoud, reaffirmed its commitment to supporting initiatives that enhance learning quality and consolidate the foundations of Djiboutian schooling, expressing gratitude to national and international partners, especially the Paul Guérin-Lajoie Foundation, for contributing to the success of this edition, which will lead to participation in the international finals in Montreal in collaboration with the international organizations of La Francophonie. The PGL Dictations is one of the most prominent international educational initiatives, giving students the opportunity to not only to test their languages skills, but also to develop intellectual and methodological skills, disciplines, perseverance, making them true ambassadors of the French languages and Francophone culture globally. The competition encourages creativity, self-confidence, and fair competitions while developing critical and analytical thinking skills to better face academic and future challenges. The PGL National Spelling Bee final was held in an atmosphere of excellence and academic rigors, bringing together 100 finalists, students from grade 5 and 6 from the capital and the interior region. This major event promoting the French languages gathered the best students selected after the regional qualifying round and testifies to the collective effort to enhance education organized under the banners of excellence and merit. This final highlighted the spelling, grammar, and writing skills of the young learners. Each student was able to demonstrate their masteries of the languages, encouraged by dedicated teachers who instilled in them valuable knowledge. This underscores the importance of mastering French in the school curriculum, essential for future academic and professional success. The Secretary General of the Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development, Dean Abdallah Omar, read the PGL dictations to the students, captivating the audience with his passion for the language. and his commitment to education. Following the correction and deliberation of the result, the two top finalists will represent the Republic of Djibouti at the International PGL Dictation Finals, which will be held in Montreal, Canada, in May 2026. This honor is a true celebration of the talent and commitment of young Francophones. The cultural delegation to India for Suraja Kand Mela. Today, a Djiboutian cultural delegation, including artists and artisans, departed from India to participate in the 39th editions of the Suraj Kand Mela in the Faridabad from January 31 to February 15, 2026, under the supervision of the Ministry of Youth and Culture. This participation aims to strengthen cultural exchanges and artistic cooperation between Djibouti and India to showcase the richness and diversity of Djibouti's cultural heritage internationally. A formal farewell Djibouti ceremony was held at the VIP Hall of Air Djibouti, attended by the Minister of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hiba Momin Asobe, the Indian ambassador to Djibouti, Mr. Kivom, and other officials led by Djiboutian artist Mohammed Hassan. The delegation includes a folkloric troupe and a selection of artists and artisans from various regions tasked with presenting Djibouti's cultural identity and engaging in artistic exchange with participants.
Team from Djibouti, they are going to New Delhi today, and we have been practicing this since last year, and it is our dream fulfilled since now they are going to leave today. And thank you so much. And this cultural troop exchange is one very important instrument for building stronger relation between the Republic of Djibouti and India. And this is a continuation of our cultural connections. And this time, the cultural troop are 19 in number. And there are some exhibitors also in handicrafts. They'll go to Suraskunj in India. That is a very, very big exhibition, exchange of culture from various parts of the world. It's not only Djibouti, and it will also be an interaction between Djiboutian cultural troupe and other cultural troupe that come from various parts of the world. And I wish them a great success. I wish them to go and enjoy and dance around there and experience the culture of India as well. And then also show the deep and sweet culture of Djibouti as well.
The Minister Hiba Momin Asowe emphasized that this participation is a valuable opportunity for young Djiboutians to gain international experience, showcase their cultural heritage, and build a long-term partnership with friendly countries. The Suraj Kand Mela is an international platform for artists and artisans to exchange experience, showcase their creativity, and promote cultural dialogue, providing young artists the opportunity to explore global artistic and craft practices and expand professional networks and highlight their talent internationally. Djibouti submits first UNESCO World Heritage nominations for Aburma Rock Art. Djibouti took a historic step in promoting and protecting its cultural heritage by officially submitting its first UNESCO World Heritage nominations by the Aburma Rock Art site. The submission was made by the Djibouti's ambassador to France and permanent delegate to UNESCO in the presence of the director of the World Heritage Center. These milestones align with the President Ismail Omar Guelleh's cultural visions and the national strategy led by the Ministry of Youth and Culture, headed by Dr. Hiba Momin Asowe, aiming to showcase Djibouti's heritage internationally. The Aburma site represents one of the region's most significant ancient human civilizations, traces with rock engravings of exceptional historical and scientific values reflecting millennia of human-environment interactions. The submission marks a pivotal moment in Djibouti's cultural history and is the first step towards international recognition, pending UNESCO's evaluation process. the visit of AMIA cadet to Djibouti Port and Free Zone Authority. Yesterday, the president of the Djibouti Port and Free Zone Authority, Abubakar Omar Haddi, hosted cadets from the Joint Military Academy at Escale International as part of an educational visit to learn about strategic national infrastructure. The delegation was led by Colonel Ibrahim Yusuf Dabbar, Director General of EMIA, and Colonel Mohammed Jama' Qayad, Director of Human Resources, representing the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces. The visit began with a guided tour of port facilities, providing cadets with the first-hand insight into their strategic, operational, and economic importance, followed by a discussion session with the authorities' president. For his part, Colonel Mohammed Jama' Qayad emphasized the visit's role in helping cadets understand strategic infrastructure management and inspiring their future careers. Colonel Ibrahim Yusuf Dabbar expressed gratitude for the authorities' support in facilitating annual visits to strategic facilities. The chairman of Port and Prison Authority, Abubakar Omar Haddi, encouraged the cadets, praising their commitment and disciplines in serving and defending the nation. He highlighted the recent integrations of 22 female naval officers, including 18 deck officers and 4 maritime engineers trained at the Arab Academy for Science, Technology, and Maritime Transport in Alexandria, Egypt, who will now serve in the Djiboutian Navy. Mr. Haddi underscored that cadets are essential for building the future of the armed forces and highlighted the strategic role of ports and free zone in national security and economic development. He stressed that protecting this infrastructure is integral to national defense and service to the country. Djibouti commends Somalia's presidency of the UN Security Council. Djibouti praised Somalia for its leadership of the UN Security Council in January, highlighting the country's effective management and appreciating the contributions of the UN Secretary General, the chairperson of the African Union Commissioners, and other international figures.
At the outset, Djibouti reiterates its profound gratitude to Somalia for convening this crucial debate, which strikes at the core of the United Nations Charter. This reflection is not only timely, but also imperative for the survival of a credible multilateral system. Mr. President, Somalia teaches the importance of the inseparability of peace and justice and the multilateralism from the rule of law. Djibouti reaffirms its full solidarity with President Hassan Sheikh and the entire Somali leadership in their endeavor to build a more peaceful Somalia, deepen political dialogue, strengthen the rule of law despite persistent security challenges, and protect the unity and sovereignty and territorial integrity of Somalia. Djibouti reiterates its deep commitment to the principles we are discussing today. Like many small states, Djibouti has historically been a champion of the Charter and international law. It is not difficult to see why. Small states have the most to lose by a lawless world where larger, stronger states can dominate smaller ones. Djibouti, by geographic destiny and political choice, has become a hub for international cooperation, a platform for regional dialogue, and a staunch contributor to collective security. We host vital multilateral presences and have consistently chosen the path of mediation and peaceful settlement of disputes in our region. Mr. President, the system we so carefully built 80 years ago is under severe strain. Today, we witness violations of the most fundamental principles of international law, and they are so egregious that they impact the entire international community wherever they occur. Djibouti would like to emphasize three pathways for the reinvigoration of the rule of law for the realization of peace, justice, and multilateralism. First, consistency. The UN Charter's principles are an indivisible whole. We cannot champion sovereignty, territorial integrity, and respect for human rights in one context, only to see them blatantly violated in another with a muted or paralyzed response. Indeed, double standard is no standard. We should pay equal attention to the conflict in Gaza, Sudan, Haiti, terrorism in the Sahel and in the Horn, to cite just a few situations. The United Nations Security Council should consistently condemn actions which would dismember or impair, totally or in part, the territorial integrity or political unity of sovereign and independent states, as expressly provided in the Declaration on Principles of International Law concerning friendly relations and cooperation among states, in accordance with the Charter of the United Nations annexed to GA Resolution 2625. Second, reinvigoration requires empowered, equitable multilateralism with regional organization as its cornerstone. The concept note rightly highlights the peaceful settlement of disputes. In Africa, we have made a courageous turn towards judicial and political settlement through the International Court of Justice, regional courts, and bodies like IGAD and the African Union. Third, we must courageously confront justice deficit. The powerful Declaration on the Rule of Law is unequivocal. Impunity is intolerable. When the ICJ issues provisional measures, these are not suggestions. They are legal obligations owed to the entire international community. The rule of law becomes a hollow incantation if we do not back our words with concrete deeds to hold lawbreakers fully accountable. This Council's credibility hinges on its consistency in demanding compliance with international law, including humanitarian and human rights law, in every context, without exception or favor.
For the international scene, U.S.-Africa Joint Task Force on Strategic Investment on January 28, 2026, the United States and African Union announced the launch of a joint task force on strategic investment aimed at channeling American capital into Africa's fastest growing markets. The task force will identify priority investment opportunities and strengthen economic cooperation, particularly in infrastructure, trade, and investment. The initiative seeks to foster sustainable and inclusive economic growth across Africa, enhance public-private partnerships, mobilize long-term financing, and develop large-scale projects capable of generating jobs and regional economic integration. The partners emphasized the need to improve businesses' environment, promote transparency, and establish regulatory frameworks conducive to investment, attracting international capital to emerging African economies. The initiative reflects both partners' commitment to advancing economic cooperation and addressing development challenges through strategic investment. And to close up this edition, floods in Mozambique, rescue operations continue. Search and rescue operations are continuing in Mozambique after several weeks of heavy rainfall that caused several flooding in several regions of the country. The floods have submerged vast areas of farmland, destroyed and damaged homes, and severely impacted essential infrastructure. According to local authorities, rescue teams supported by humanitarian organizations are working to reach isolated areas where many families remain trapped by the rising waters. Air and sea resources are being deployed to evacuate those affected and deliver emergency aid, including food, drinking water, and medical supplies. The floods have also caused significant losses of the agricultural sectors, the main sources of the livelihoods for many rural communities, raising concerns about food security in the coming weeks. Authorities have warned of the risks of waterborne disease spreading due to the contaminated water sources of deteriorating sanitation conditions. With the weather forecasts predicting continuous unstable weather conditions, authorities are calling for increased national and international mobilization to support relief and reconstruction efforts and provide sustained assistance to affected populations. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.